Coriolanus. See, that's the thing. You need to be able to pronounce the characters' names, okay? Aloha, everyone. I'm so glad you're tuning in. The Ballad of the Songbirds and the Snakes, or Snakes and the Songbirds, whatever it was. I don't even know what movie I just watched, okay? It was terrible. Absolutely awful. There's nothing I would love more than to not have watched it. And here's my full review on why. Everything, like, I was just watching it and literally I just kept saying, like, ew! Ew! It just felt so contrived, so forced. Like, it was bad. Maybe it wasn't bad, but I thought it was awful. Like, when they introduced, what's her face, Lucy Gray? Dog. I just went, like when she does the, like, you know, the bow with the stupid little arms. I was like, that's, like, why? Why is she being so haughty? Like, no one gets it. It's not cool. It's not funny. It's like, why is she dumping snakes down people's dresses? And why is she being so rude? Like, it wasn't cool because I didn't get it, okay? And they kind of went on to explain it. But by then, so much other stuff had happened that I was like, oh yeah, that happened. And I was confused about it. Like, it wasn't like, oh, you know? It just could have been better. And I just didn't like her accent. Oh my gosh. Hi, my name is Lucy Gray. Lucy Gray Baird. I'm a Covey. And we are from District 12. Don't call us from District 12. That's not where we're from. But are you from District 12? That's where my people are. Excuse me? Nobody talks like that. Like, and it wasn't constant. There were so many times that I was like, oh, she's talking normal. Ah. And then I just could not hear her voice enough, okay? And then, what was his name? Coriolanus, no. I need like a whole lesson on why I don't remember that from the books, okay? What the heck? And in the beginning, what the heck? They were like, oh, President Snow. And then it just, that did not make sense to me. Like the little prize that they took away and they didn't do it right this year, blah, blah, blah. And like, how come nobody knew the answer to why we do the Hunger Games? And what's up with the game maker? She kind of sucked, guys. Like, obviously, Emily was trying to convert me to the light side or whatever, if you will, of liking the movie. And she was like, no, like, you don't get it. This is a prequel. So it's supposed to, like, it's not supposed to be as grand and, like, awful and blah, blah, blah as the Hunger Games we know. It's supposed to show you how we got to those from being not that bad, you know, like, all things considered. There was no mutant dogs running around that used to be children, okay? Like, all things considered, it wasn't that bad. But, like, that was something that I was anticipating was, I don't know. Maybe that's a me problem. That one could be on me. I personally don't think so. I think they just didn't have the kick that you needed to be engaged for a Hunger Games movie. Like, the snakes, what's up with that? Okay, like the little, like the barrel of snakes, barrel, case, whatever, that they dropped in to like amp up the games, and that's how he cheated or whatever. Like, I don't know. I was just like, it seemed unreasonable to me that they would have found his or her handkerchief, or yeah, his handkerchief with her tears on it in all the wreckage. What? You're joking. Like, that seems unreasonable. What were they doing to look that hard? Like, and how do they know he didn't just give it to her? You know, the compact, that's another thing. Like, she should have been more careful with her stuff. But all I'm saying is, and then I just can't figure out why nobody likes her. just because she sings. Like, I know she's singing, like, necessarily anti-capital propaganda, but, like, what tribute is like, yeah, capital, you're gonna kill me? What? So it just and like, what are her and Katniss like related? Did she even die? Okay, wait, can we get to that? The mystery not cleared up, okay? All over TikTok, like, I already knew going in, Lucy Gray dies. Because nobody can keep their mouth shut, okay? But, like, after day one, I kind of gave up on the thought of going to see it, because I was like, oh, she dies. It's like, why would I go see it? Because everyone keeps talking about it day one. It's a pet peeve. So anyways, I knew going in, she's gonna die. When she didn't die in the games, I was a little surprised. When she was the victor, I was a little surprised. No. In the woods, when they're running away, like, and she, I guess, kind of gets the, like, ooh, he's a bad dude kind of feeling, and she tries to run from the cabin, and he goes out, finds the scarf, gets bitten by the snake, and he, like, whips around with his gun, and he shoots, and you kind of see a figure go down, then he goes over there, and there's nothing. And it's like the birds, the jabberjays, are like, you know, there are you, come into the tree. Does that mean she died? But where's her body? Does that mean she got away and he's gonna be haunted by her forever? I don't know. Also, I don't know, the title seemed a lot to me because the snakes and the songbirds, like, obviously, like, everyone refers to her as a songbird. Suzanne, my darling, you blessed us with art before, but I think your title could have used a little work on this one. Just my professional opinion. Anyways, I just felt like, I don't know. And there was so much subplot, like, with Sejanus. And I mean, I guess it all went through, like, snow becoming snow. They should have just called it Becoming Snow. Like, that's such a classic. Becoming blah, blah, blah. Like, that's a classic fallback for when you have a character that you're doing the origin story. Ugh. It just wasn't good. The origin story kind of sucked. He made all those choices. Nothing happened to him, okay? That's another thing. Nothing happened to Snow to make him the way he is. He made all those choices. Sejanus was trying to keep him in line. Sejanus had the greatest heart out of anybody you've ever heard about in the Hunger Games, okay? Let's get that straight. So, it just felt forced because he made all those choices. He decided to, oh shoot, what did he do? Oh, he decided to cheat to fall in love with his contestant. What the heck, man? What's wrong with him? Like, he started off so good. Why didn't he just not, I don't know. I don't know if he wanted to win so much because he kind of had it locked in the old way, or if he just actually caught feels for her because she's a quirky little, you know, songbird. That's another thing. There's just so many questions. I have so many questions about this movie. And it's over. I shouldn't have this many questions because there's not like a sequel to the prequel. And to be fair, I'm sure if I had read the book, I might be better off. I didn't. I did not want to waste that much of my time. I don't read as much anymore, which is sad, but I don't. And I didn't want to waste that much of my life reading a book that doesn't feel necessary because I rarely read external books to the original series because of how bad they usually are. His you know, being in a dazed love for her was another thing that felt forced. But hear me out, right? Out of all the cinema in the world, right, there are some excellent examples of just being like melty in love with someone where you do crazy stuff. And there's examples where it's just like, ugh. Like, that's just you being a crazy person, bro. Like, get it together. Like, I just watched Phantom of the Opera last night. And that chick, I forgot her name, Christine? She was loco in love with the Phantom. And I don't know why, that's another thing, I got questions. But I'm not saying that it was a great movie, even though it was. I'm just saying they portrayed her as melty, stupid in love really well. Whereas Tom Coriolanus, they didn't. Like, what was he so in love with about her? Can I ask that? She was dissing the Capitol, whom he loves. Like, he was even like out in this beautiful field and in the lake, and they were making out under a tree, and it was so cute. And she was like, Coriolanus, you don't think you could ever be happy out here? And he's like, no, I want to go back to the Capitol. And she was like, wow, look at all this. This could be your lives. Which, first of all, for once, I'm with him. That is not what I want my life to be. Second of all, though, if that's what she wants, and that's not what you want, why are you so melty, stupid in love, okay? It just didn't feel right. There was just a lot that I hated. Also, her head looked too big for her body. Maybe I just didn't like her. But I didn't like him either. No. There was no one that I liked. That's another thing. I didn't like the cast. I didn't like who they put as the characters. I didn't like the characters, okay? There was no one that I was like, oh, I would die for them. Sejanus was okay. I will give him that. But even he was kind of vanilla. I was like, what's this guy's job? Like, what is he doing here? Why is he here? The classmates at the beginning, dude, they might as well not have been there because I could not keep them straight. Right? Like when that one girl got with a bottle, I was like, who is that? I didn't realize that was a classmate that mattered until like 10 minutes after it happened, okay? And like, what's up with that Weasley little girl having such a big play in the games? I forgot her name. It was like Timber. No, not Timber. I don't know. Didn't really care. But she had the funny little mini bangs boy cut and the stripy shirt. Why did she have so much screen time? I don't know. I did think that it was interesting. This is not necessarily a negative thing. It was interesting that this was the year that the games went from being like an evening of a football game, like, oh my gosh, everybody gather around, we're gonna watch the Hunger Games. This is it. You know, it went from that to like, this is a day's affair. This is like an affair. This takes a long time. Blah, blah, blah. Like, and like the arena has, you know, stuff happening in it as opposed to just being, and that's probably why, obviously that's why, because there was places to hide and places to go and stuff to use to your advantage. Instead of just being like a room to, you know. So I thought that was interesting, right? And that's where Emily was going from. She was like, well, this is how it became what it is. And yeah, I get that. But there also should have been a little more to it that I didn't get, okay? I just didn't get the, like, it didn't have the Hunger Games, just not like the games themselves, like the movie, the story. It didn't have the, The biggest part was the end, okay? When the headmaster, the headmaster, the short guy, he was like, Coriolanus, the Hunger Games were me and your dad's idea. You know, like, Snow idolized his father. But I think he also had this idea of like, man, I don't want to be what he was, because like, I'm not burned, but like, he's my father. You know, just, it's a classic story, right? Like, my dad's a bad guy, but he's my dad. You know the tension there? I think Snow had a little bit of that going on, that little complex. And so when he finds out the games were his dad's idea, and then Snow comes along and kind of makes friends with the game master. Yeah, game master. And is like, oh, we should try this, and and this. And he kind of, oh. And so then he kills the dean. He poisons him. And all I have to say about that is that was a plot twist. I was like, no. I just remembered something else from the movie that I really, really enjoyed, okay? Like, I bawled my eyes out. I was like, this is the Hunger Games I wanted to watch! Okay? It had that Katniss energy, if you will. So, yeah, Lucy Gray, the Katniss energy. Did not have it. IMO. The moment that I was like, oh, this is what I wanted to watch! This is what I wanted to see! This is what I wanted out of this movie, was when all of the tributes had died. Especially the girl that, the little mousy one that was kind of on top of the little, like, things, and the creepy little girl got her. When she died, that one guy that was really cool, he came out of the woodwork, and because she, I think, fell, right? And so he kind of came out of his hiding place, and there was tons of dead bodies everywhere, okay? Like, it was... And he drugged them all and laid them out, nicely and respectfully. And then he covered them with the Capitol tarp, or the Capitol tapestry. If that is not a Katniss Everdeen move, what is? Okay? Doing what's right, doing what's respectful. Even in the midst of the Hunger Games? What? Please. I was like, ah, I was crying bad. Big time, okay? So, I was supposed to pull my heartstrings, and it did, and that's why it's my favorite. Nothing else in the movie did. I was so annoyed the rest of the time. I was like, stop loving her, shut up, go back to, District 12, die already so I understand what happens. What else was I thinking? Is it over yet? What the heck is going on? Those were the top 6 comments in my head during the whole movie. It also threw me off that, and the Peacekeepers, which seemed a lot more chill in this movie, by the way. The Peacekeepers seemed like normies. Like, they didn't seem like the evil, like, Peacekeepers from the books and the movies, the originals. So that was interesting. I was like, I wonder if that evolved too, or if it's just from this perspective they were normal, because Snow was a Peacekeeper. You get that can stay in. That was a good thought. Anything else that I absolutely have to say? No, I didn't watch the other 4 movies in preparation, because you shouldn't have to prepare for the prequel. I've said it once, and I'm going to say it again now. You shouldn't have to prepare for the prequel, okay? I have seen them. All 4, and I've read all 3 books from the original series, read the books, watched the movie, in that order. I know what goes down, okay? I'm just saying. I didn't prepare. So this is my thoughts as a not huge, like, oh my gosh, I love the Hunger Games stan. And these are my thoughts as someone who didn't prepare. And these are my thoughts as someone who didn't think the main character was hot. That man was skinny, y'all. He was skinny. He was not hot. Even after the haircut, he was not hot. We've got to get that straight. Everyone on Instagram Reels is like, oh my gosh, he's so hot. No. Y'all are liars. Not hot. That man is skinny. He needs to hit the weight bench. He needs to do some... Y'all lie. That's not why I went. But y'all lie. She wasn't hot either. Her head looks huge. In the bathing suit scene, y'all have to tell me I'm right on this one. No matter how you feel about the movie, her body looks so weird. She had the biggest head, and then her body was like I'm not gonna theorize on that, No comments, just saying it didn't look right. Just observation. It looked weird and it threw me off in the movie because I was like, one more thing, tigress. In the middle of the movie, I was in the drive-in, so I had my phone at the ready. I started to Google something else, and that popped up in my recommended searches. Like, if you scroll a little bit, Google's like, oh, other people asked this. And that popped up, and I was like, ooh, curiosity. Because, like, kind of a unique name, right? It's a prequel. They're not going to pick the same name for a different character. That would just be dumb. But then it said, like, some people theorize that it's a different person. What? You're lying, first of all. So, second of all, like, there's, at the beginning, the very opening scene, she brings in the shirt, and she's like, I did this, you know, and he's like, oh, you pulled the tiles off the wall for the buttons, and you bleached it with blah, 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 blah. Okay? Miss Arts and Crafts, Miss Fashion, Tigress. What does Tigress do in Mockingjay? Mockingjay? Yeah. What does she do? Mockingjay? Catching Fire? Doesn't matter. Think it's Mockingjay. What does she do? Queen does fashion. She lives in a big old house, especially in the movies. She lives in this big old apartment in the capital, and it's kind of like an underground operation for Katniss and all of them to escape. And there's bolts of fabric and drapes and a machine, and she makes them clothes to run through the streets undetected. What do you mean it's not the same person? Okay, that's my second thought on that. That's all I got to say about that. This is a terrible movie. Would not recommend. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your energy. Don't waste your money. This is Kenna in post. I didn't do an outro, so thanks for watching. Catch you next time.